Hey babes, welcome back to Heart First, Head Later. I'm back again with Steve,
Hello.
and as you can see, we are still in the festive spirit of Christmas, even though Christmas was
Thursday.
Thursday and it is now Sunday.
Yeah.
But, why not? Tree's still up, lights are still on, so festive, here we go.
Yeah.
And today we actually wanted to talk about something that I think is not a stigma, but is often criticized in relationships. And that's talking about exes.
Ah.
Yeah. And a lot of people think that talking about your ex with your partner,
Yeah. It's become like taboo.
yeah, is a negative thing. And there are people who think if you talk about your ex too much, you're still hung up on them. But there's another side to it where, depending on how long you were with that person, it's a major chunk of your life. And you can't just pretend it didn't exist. And there are certain situations where it's going to be brought up because it matters to the conversation.
Yeah, it's context of conversation. And I
Yeah.
mean, like, for sure, if it's the inverse of that, where like you're constantly talking to them, then like, yeah, maybe there's an issue
Yeah.
there. But if often or every once in a while you're talking about something that you dealt with in life, and it's like, oh, I was here at this place one time and I did this thing, and like, oh, what were you doing there? Like, eventually, it's going to come to the point that like, yeah, I was with this person.
Right.
Like,
You don't want to.
I'm not deliberately trying to bring up my ex. I'm talking about this thing that's pertinent to what we're
Yes.
going over or whatever.
And you're not comparing. You're not sitting here saying,
Yeah,
my ex did this, but you do this.
yeah, one
So,
hundred percent.
so I feel like as long as you're not comparing your partner to your ex, and you're not sitting there saying, well, my ex did this, and you do this, then I feel like that's also something that people need to be aware of
Yeah,
when discussing their exes. Because, like, for you, and you can touch on this more obviously, but like, you were in a fucking decade long relationship.
yeah.
That's not something that's just like, okay, well, nothing happened during these times. Like, it's 10 fucking years.
And it was funny afterward. Like, people I thought were friends, they, you'd something would happen and it would be exactly that situation where it's just like contextually me bringing up something that Nicole and I had to deal with, not as relationship goes, but it just something happened and like we experienced something. And at this point, I'm with someone who's experiencing it for the first time, but they've known me a while, and so I'd say like, "Oh yeah, Nicole and I," and they'd start screaming at me about like getting off the pity party and like getting over her, and I'm just like, I'm not, I wasn't. It's,
It's just a story.
this is
Yeah.
pertinent to what like you're asking me if I know about something, and I'm giving you like that proof that it's just like, yes, I went through this with this person, and like
Yeah.
so I know like how to deal with XYZ, or like
Yeah.
I've seen this before, so I know how to do whatever that thing is. Like, and I don't know. Oh, people are interesting in that way.
Yeah. It's definitely something that I've been like told a lot throughout my life in relationships, like, you shouldn't talk about your ex.
Yeah,
But, like, I wasn't in I guess I was with my ex-husband. It's in almost a 10-year relationship. And then my last relationship was 7 years. So it's like a lot of shit happened in those
yeah,
relationships. And you and I have also discussed, like, our exes are very similar
oh,
in how they were,
yeah,
So we have that where we can be like, oh, this happened to me. I'm like, oh, wow, that sounds super familiar to what happened to me. And
yeah.
then you go and you tell a story, and you're not sitting here saying, like, I'm telling you this
Yeah.
because I wish you were that person.
You're not waxing lyrical about your ex. You're just saying like, yeah, I went through that with this person once. Anyway, what are we doing for dinner?
Yeah. It's like just a story. And yeah, are there subjects that maybe, like, you don't always have to discuss? Of course. Like,
Yeah, not everything needs to be said.
right. So, like, there's times that, like, I'm a very visual person. So when we're having discussions about, like, sex, why did I whisper that? This is a podcast, talk about sex. Sometimes, like, we'll talk about our exes in that context. I visualize things that I don't want to be visualizing.
Yeah.
So in those instances, I'm almost like, I don't want to hear this, but like it's pertinent to the conversation, so I'm listening, but I'm still
Yeah.
picturing it,
Yeah.
and I'm getting grossed out, and I don't want to picture, So
Yeah.
those are those situations where it's like it's almost comical to me in those senses.
This one time we were doing this, and you're like,
I'm like, I'm picturing it.
I'm listening too intently.
Yeah, and it's like I'm picturing because I also now know what she looks like from pictures.
Yeah.
So it's like I can really picture it. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to be thinking about this, but it is what it is, and it's not making me upset. It's not something that I'm like.
Yeah, but it's something that happens because you're human. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm a very visual person, so I see things. But this is being in a relationship. You have to be honest and you have to be open about everything. And if you don't talk about your ex in situations where it matters and makes sense, then you're hiding things. In a sense, you're not.
Yeah, not like things that you should be telling someone about, but you're in a way like, you're hiding things that are just like, why? Like, I'm a person who like just really doesn't like lying, but it's not like you're lying about anything of substance, but at the same time, like, you're being deceitful, and like that just makes me uncomfortable in general.
Yeah.
So it's one of the reasons why, like, when I talk to people, when I talk to you, I talk, like I say it all, I lay it all out, because to me it's just like, none of this shit matters. I have no reason to hide it.
Yeah.
So even the stuff that, to a fault as well, because it's like I'm just like an over explainer, because I have that visual thing, and OCD, ADHD, like, it's just I'm detailing to you like every little thing, like I'm writing a novel, and it's just like, okay, this is a little, some of this is irrelevant.
But I mean, it's things that are said, and it's you being completely yourself, which is important, and we've said is like the number one thing. And I think we even talked about our exes on our first date.
Yeah.
100%. It's definitely something that we have never kept out of our relationship from day one.
Yeah. Which is, again, weird, because like you opened up with, it's looked at as, don't ever mention your ex.
Yeah. Like, but it's impossible unless you're with your ex for like a month.
Yeah.
Like, and nothing happened. But like, when you're with somebody for an extended period of time,
it's kind of
it also change. It molds who you are.
100%.
And I feel like our past relationships definitively molded us to who we are.
It also gets very muddy to me to be like, okay, I want to, this is pertinent to this conversation, so I want to bring it up, but I want to leave out the part that, like, I was with this person. You know what I mean? I was with one of my exes when it happened, so I have to just leave that out. Now, if you get curious and go, oh, like, what were you doing that, like, there? Like, who were you there with? In a very just conversational way, not a, who were you there with? Yeah. Right? Like, in just a very conversational way, you're just like, oh, what were you doing there? Like, I'm not going to lie to you because I don't want to bring up my ex. I'm going to be like, yeah, I was there with an ex.
Yeah.
Oh, I was there with Nicole, Bernadette, Erica. And you're going to, oh, all right, cool.
Yeah, because it's like,
it's not a big deal.
No, it's not. It's not like you're saying I was there with them and I wish I was still there with them.
Why'd you bring up that story to relate to what I was saying?
Yeah, like,
you must be hung up on your ex because there's a connection there to your ex. Like, give me a fucking break.
It's stupid. And then it's like, we all have a past, and I've said this to you so many times, like, and I think I've said this on episodes prior to us doing them. Everybody has a past. You can't control your past. You can't change your past. You can't deny your past. You can learn from it.
Yeah.
But to hide it from your partner.
You only ever mention these years. Where were you in between this year and this year? Now I have to tell you that, like, I was in a long relationship and everything, and I never bring that up because I'm not supposed to talk about my ex.
So stupid.
It's fucking insane to me.
It's so stupid. Like, there shouldn't be those rules in relationships.
I understand the nature of a person saying, like, don't bring up your ex, and I feel like there's a more nuanced way to get that across. That, like, don't talk about your ex too much, because though maybe, like, that you're over them and, like, that they're a non-factor in your life anymore, maybe that comes across a type of way to a person. But it's like, me and you have gotten to this point where I think we're both well aware that the other, like, I forget these women existed.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
some in a very purposeful way and some not. But like, you're not ever thinking about them the way that like you think about everything in your day-to-day life. So when something pops up and I'm like, oh man, yeah, like I can relate to that because this one time me and Bernadette XYZ123.
Yeah.
It would be like, oh, so you know what I mean by and you just keep the conversation going because now you're not sitting here talking about your ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
You're just bringing up the fact that like, hey, this one time I went to Disneyland.
Yeah.
In 2009.
Yeah. How many fucking years ago? That's the other thing. It's like, it's stupid because like even now, like even I also feel like bringing up exes and like talking about exes when you have triggers from those relationships.
Sure, and that can
important.
be that can be yeah, I totally agree with you because that could be totally nuanced too, where it's just like, oh, like if you ever were triggered by something and now want to tell me or vice versa, hey, that thing you just did or said, or like this thing that just happened to us, like, man, it took me back to this place and it just, man, I trying to get better at this and la 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 la. Like this can be a very healthy conversation.
And I even said that to you.
And it started with bringing up your ex.
Yes. And I said this, I think we talked about something similar yesterday because backstory, we've moved in together and I recently brought one of my dogs with me. We're trying to acclimate my dog and his cat and it's going all right so far. But my point is I'm going back to work tomorrow. He's off. And with my ex, when I was working and he wasn't working for 6 out of the 7 years of our relationship, that's a whole other thing.
That's another episode.
I think I talked about it actually. He's going to be here with both animals. And that for me is a little bit of a trigger because with my ex, I would get phone call after phone call after phone call after phone call after phone call. Dog did this, dog did that, dog's pissed me off, dog's going outside, I'm leaving the dog in the street, all this stuff. So like, I know.
Now you're stressed at work and I'm a toddler at home, like throwing a tantrum.
Yeah, it's like, and I know you're not anything like him, and I know that. But the trigger's still there where I'm going to be a little tense.
Because that exact same situation hasn't happened to you yet.
Correct.
So your brain is only used to it going down one way.
Yep. But these are things that you, in order to articulate properly and have you understand, have to talk about your ex.
Yeah.
Like, so it can't be this.
You can't be like, so, I can tell you some of these things, but not all of them. I have to leave out information to protect like.
Yeah.
Stop.
No, there can't be just this blanket statement of you can't talk about your ex.
Yeah. No.
You don't want to spend all day talking about them because like number one, that's ridiculous. And number two, like you're gonna drive yourself crazy.
Yeah.
But if it's pertinent to the situation, there is no reason you shouldn't be able to talk about them.
Yeah. And especially if you've both come to the realization that like, oh, like they're over their ex. Like it doesn't matter. Like
it shouldn't matter.
Yeah. And what was my response to you? It was just like I look forward to not talking to you like all day long while you're at work, so you could just be like, "Holy fuck!" Yeah.
I'll probably still text like,
and 100% I know you're gonna do that, but like in my mind, like I went how many years without talking to you, so like it's that thing of like if I really needed to, I could just not contact you.
Yeah.
It's not. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I've even gone to lengths to text you and talk to you less throughout the day because I know you're trying to settle in a new job and I'm not trying to take your attention away to like learning the stuff that at some point you're going to be able to do second nature and answer a text from me, and it's not going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not worried about what you're doing. I know you're at work. It's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe trust is another episode.
That is 100% another episode because that's a.
If you're having trouble doing that after a certain amount of months, maybe that's an issue. Maybe that's a whole episode.
Big issue. Yeah, trust is. Yeah, that's a big one. But yeah, I mean, we could go on and on about this, but I think healthy discussions about your ex shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
It should not just be this black and white. Never talk about your ex, because then you're holding back parts of yourself.
Yeah.
Because this is your past. This is who This is what made you
Oh
who you
man, you're
are.
so self-aware. How'd you learn to do that? Now I can't tell you the answer to that
Hmm.
because it clearly would be involving all of like my life
Yep.
prior,
Yep.
like things that I learned throughout my life, and maybe a couple of those things were um very big and had something to do with a former like romantic
Yep.
relationship.
Yep.
So now I can't answer that question because I'm not supposed to talk about my
No,
ex.
there shouldn't be those
That's
rules.
nonsense.
Absolutely no
Nonsense.
rules. Now,
And again, like we're trying to say, like nonsense to a point. Like
yes.
there has to be nuance to that. It can't just be don't talk about your ex. Like, well, ever,
Yeah.
never bring them up.
Now, here's a question that just came to me. What if in a situation like neither one of us are friends with our exes? We don't talk to them. They're
Yeah.
blocked. They're
Yeah.
gone.
I had thought about that a bunch of times. Like, should I be? Is this weird? Am I like? Is there clearly a problem with me because I'm not? Like,
No.
more of these relationships than less of them ended in a way that has me not wanting to be
Yeah.
like friends with them and connected to them. And now you come to a place where some of the lines are don't ever talk about your ex, you shouldn't be friends with your ex. And like when I look at that more and more, the more like things I hear, like my therapist was like your new romantic partner is not going to be thrilled that you talk to your ex, and
Yeah.
especially even turn that this way. Nicole, I was with her for a decade. How comfortable would you be?
I don't think I'd like that very much.
Yeah.
It would make, and it's not,
Right?
but I think for me, the way I look at it is I wouldn't, it's funny because I was about to say one thing and now I'm thinking something else.
Yeah. And I also thought of what you had said, not to get you further off of that,
Yeah.
but I mean, like you had brought up the fact that like you're still on kind of, I don't know, you're on positive more than you are negative terms with your ex-husband.
Yeah.
It's like, he did what he did, things ended, but I mean like
It was
you
amicable.
can be a good person and do something fucked up like cheating and like
Yeah.
that. Does that make you a fully bad person? Again, that's like a whole subject
Yeah.
matter. That's a whole nother
No,
episode. You know
like
what I mean? But
him,
like at the same time, like you guys aren't like on non-speaking
no, like
terms.
I text him, like he lost his mother recently. I texted
Yeah,
him. Like I found pictures of his dad like a couple years ago. I sent them to him. Like
yeah,
he came to my house, I want to say like 3 or 4 years
yeah.
ago
And
to
and
do stuff with my niece.
and now bring it into this. He wasn't abusive to
No,
you. He was like,
he was a good man. He was a
yeah,
good person.
until he did
He
something.
had an affair. Did a
Yeah,
fucked up thing.
yeah,
But that doesn't change the fact that like he was a good person.
yeah.
Like if he's not someone I have any bad vibes towards at all.
Yeah, that was
You
that
know.
was kind of my point for bringing it up. Where it's just like, I mean, if you did still talk to him, I'd get it. I'd be like, oh well, I mean, like it ended because this negative thing happened. But it's like I don't see a problem with the fact that you guys still talk, and
Yeah.
I'm not insecure in that way.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, you still talk to your ex, all right.
Yeah.
It
And that
wouldn't
was
matter to me, but I would want to be accommodating with someone who it did matter to.
right.
Like if I still talked to Nicole or Erica or one of them from my past, and you were like, this makes me uncomfortable, I would then have to broach that, and that's kind of why I've ended up in this place where mentally I kind of agree with it. It's a little weird if
It
you're
is, yeah.
you're still friends with your ex.
Yeah, I'm not friends with any of my exes. Like I wouldn't consider my ex-husband a friend in any.
Yeah, like acceptable maybe, but then it's like, well, what if you end up being with someone who that does bother? And
Yeah.
now you have to like, man, do I like sever ties with this person
Yeah.
who's known me? And like it becomes this whole thing.
Yeah, and that's not something that I think like a lot of people can understand and do.
Yeah.
I used to be friends with him. I used to be friends with one of my ex-boyfriends from fucking college.
Yeah.
But then like along the way you realize, well, there was a reason the relationship ended,
That's a good
and
point.
maybe the friendship isn't the best thing either.
That's a
Like
really
it's
good point. Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
so I think there's that as well. Like yeah, I don't know, like if you were to still talk to Nicole,
That'd be
that would probably bother me.
that'd be exceptionally weird
Yeah.
because exceptionally like alarming, like questionable. Like I would understand if that sent off alarm bells, especially having with the way things ended.
Yeah.
Why would you still be
Yeah.
why would you still be in communication with this person?
Yeah.
Why would you want any level of connection and relationship with this person after what they did to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, no, you know what I mean? Like if that were flipped and I was just like, you still talk to her, him?
Yeah.
I have a problem with that. Like
Mhm.
it's setting off alarm bells and I see the red flags waving.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, like, I'll be honest, like, and I think this was also part of my, I think I've told you this, like, I tried to be friends with my ex-boyfriend, the one I was with for 7 years. I
Yeah.
tried after we broke up because I felt bad for him.
Sure.
But that was just my, like,
Yeah,
still in
that's
that,
true.
like,
You're the relationship connections that you were probably just about to bring up, but it's also like if you're a genuinely compassionate person, it's gonna bother you to just
Yeah.
like sever a tie.
well, we
Like
also shared animals, and I still wanted to be able to see my cats.
there you
So
go.
there was also that. But
Yeah.
then, like, he did something where, like, I was starting to, like, go on apps and start dating, and I wasn't hiding it from him because, like, if you want to be my friend, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I shouldn't have been doing that in the first place. I wasn't ready at that moment. But
Yeah.
like, he like flipped the fuck out on me, like flipped out, and I was like, wait a minute, this is a friend. You're still acting like this is not
Yeah.
gonna work. You just okay now, and now you're blocked and gone. Like, you know, so there's aspects of it that, you know.
Yeah. This is more nuanced than
Yeah.
don't talk about your ex.
Yeah.
Don't ever bring up your ex.
Yeah.
It's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
Like, no, there are clearly people that exist that are just like, you know, I'm secure enough
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not gonna start having these thoughts or feelings or wondering why you're bringing up your ex.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, you had a life.
Yep. You have to accept, if you're gonna be with somebody, you have to accept them for who they are now.
Yeah.
And accept their past.
You've existed for 4 decades.
Yeah.
It's not,
you can't
like cut parts of that out because it's going to trigger somebody.
Yeah, no.
Sure, you learn about your person's triggers and you try to, you know, do the right thing and the more positive thing and whatnot. But like at the same time, I don't know, there's just some stuff that's just like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
This is stupid that this person put out this idea.
Yeah.
That this is just like
a blanket. Don't talk about
yeah,
it.
you're acting like it's racism, like you just shouldn't do it, which don't do racism,
yeah, no,
kids.
that's bad.
But yeah, they treat it like it's a nuclear bomb. It's like, hold on.
It's not that
like,
bad. Not
yeah,
that serious.
there are many things that can be talked about.
Yep.
This is certainly one of them.
Yeah.
And especially again, if you're with someone who's secure, it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
And maybe that security is something that you can grow into. Imagine that.
Shocking growth.
How weird.
But the whole point is, guys and gals, we need to talk about, be honest, be open, communicate. And if you're really uncomfortable talking about your ex, express that to your partner.
My whole thing is talk about everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you should, everything should be on the table and acceptable. The minute one of you is like, we shouldn't talk about that because a person on a podcast said I shouldn't.
There's a problem.
It's like, okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Now I'm worried about even pursuing a relationship with you because you're basing how you act off of one person's opinion. Like, get all the information you can and make an educated decision with the critical thinking that, you know, hopefully you were born with.
Yeah.
If you had to develop it, fine. I mean, like, just I don't know. I just wish more people would either think for themselves or like realize that just because somebody with a camera pointed at them said something doesn't mean that you should do that.
Yeah. Not everything you hear on the internet is Bible talk.
Yeah.
And even stuff you hear in well, I'm not going to get into
that. Guidance, not gospel.
Yes. Think of them more as guidelines, like they said in Pirates.
Yeah.
I'm always down for quoting a Johnny Depp movie.
Yeah. And I love that. That's funny.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back again. Maybe not as festive. Maybe we'll be ringing in the new year.
Yeah.
But
we'll have bunny suits on for Easter or some shit.
Oh God, yeah.
Hop around. I'm not doing
that. I think you should do that.
Bunny ears with the, you know.
Should he do that? I'm gonna put a poll in the I'm gonna put a poll online. Should Steve be in bunny
Should
ears
Steve
next
wear
time?
bunny ears on the next episode?
Yes.
Well, not the next one, the Easter one.
The Easter one.
'Cause
Yeah.
it's
Should
not
Steve be an Easter bunny?
Easter like March.
March. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll,
So
we'll see how it goes. All right. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next time.
bye.